There's five challenges facing the rentability of the port expansion project. The first thing is that the trend in shipping is towards bigger boat, and this because of the water level between Montreal and Quebec, 70% of the vessel cannot reach Contrecoeur. So the Contrecoeur port is not strategically located to be a first option for transporting stuff with shipping vessels. So that's one thing. The other thing that goes in the same line is that the water level between Montreal and Quebec is going down because of climate change. So we have strong data showing that there's a link between higher temperature in the water, and lower levels. So with both that have a bigger draft, it's impossible to bring them to Contrecoeur. So that's something. It's like starting a video company while we have the streaming right now. That's the Port of Montreal project. So that's one thing. And there's the Port of Montreal projection are too optimistic. So in 2017, in the environmental study, they had three scenario. One that was very prudent, and another one that was middle, and then an aggressive one. So when we look at the data now, they don't even surpass the most prudent projection for growth in shipping. So why that? Because the global trend in maritime shipping is going down. So the Port of Montreal is affected by that. So another thing, when you look at the operational capacity of the Port of Montreal, it's not fully used. And that's true for the Port of Montreal, but that's also true for other facilities on the East Coast. So bringing an extra capacity at this time of the in time is not a good idea, because there's already a possibility of growth without having new infrastructure. And when you look at what yields $1 of advancement in the Port of Montreal, in 2014, each dollar brought 25 cents. In 2022, it brought 15 cents, 40% drop. And it's going to go down like that because of all the investment. And what we see now is that the project started at an estimate of $750 million to build the infrastructure, and now they're already at $2.3 billion. So it's just starting. So we all know that these projects, will double in cost. So and these are facts, these are numbers, available numbers. And we're asking that, the Port of Montreal, the government of Canada, the government of Quebec, look at these numbers, and maybe it's not a good idea to move forward with that project. There are people buying good communication company, they're buying good communication services. This project will be profitable for a few people, but not for the public. It's going to cost a lot of money. It's going to be a burden on taxpayers. So, uh, and how can you explain that this is an environmental group that uh, commit such studies, while we have governments already committed to invest a lot of millions of dollars into this project without any serious socio-economic assessment of the project? It doesn't make sense. So that's why we went there, and we didn't knew what would be the result of that study. It's open; people can read it. If there's error in facts, uh, we'll correct that. It's just open data. It's just other science. And when we look at what happened in Europe, because they had this era of promoters wanted to expand port facilities across Europe recently, and a recent study showed that €1 out of three was lost because of bad investment. So the Port of Montreal, because of its strategic positioning, is not a port that can competition with facilities that are near the oceans and that have deeper water level.